Hello, and welcome. Welcome to the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and this is a show by the chili head community for the chili head community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for all things hot. Hey, we have a great show coming up for you tonight. We got some product reviews once again on some Faiya sauces, and we have our guest today is Gary Montcalm. We're going to be having a great discussion with him, some burning choices. Hey, if this is your first time checking out the show, glad to have you here. We go live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central. Come check us out. Hey, let's get ready for show number 12. Starts now. All right. Hey, welcome back. Welcome to the show. Glad everyone's here. And once again, we have up tonight some hot or not product reviews on Faiya sauces. We have the Salsa Verde, and then we have the Salsa Roja. So looking forward to getting into these. And then we also have a peanut butter ghost pepper cookie that you may remember from before. This one's been ramped up a bit. I was told this is the challenge version, so we're going to be trying some of that cookie as well. It's a little bit of a time-consuming thing, so we'll probably get into that as we get into the hot or not on how much we actually eat before a time-sake purpose. But from there, then we're going to go straight into the guest review. Once again, we have Gary Montcalm. You know him from, I'm sure, most recently, the Superhot episodes that have been out. You've seen his face there. He's a master grower, does great things. He's in the Primo Army. He's in the Primo Wrecking Crew. You know, what a great person to have on here. Looking forward to diving in with him. And after that, we got some burning choices with Gary as well. And, hey, if you like what we're doing here, please like, comment, follow, all the things above. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel as much as we can. So if you could, share it out with others. Let's get in front of the right chili heads and make this channel grow. Couldn't do this without y'all, so definitely, if you could, go ahead and send that out. But let's go ahead and jump on into some hot or not. All right, hey, welcome on in. This is hot or not. We got up today 2 sauces from Faiya. We have the Salsa Verde and the Salsa Roja. So we're going to be diving into those, as well as at the very end, we will be diving into a peanut butter ghost pepper cookie that I've been told is the challenge level. So looking forward to trying that one. So up first, we'll start with the, let's do the Salsa Verde first. All right, once again, this is from Faiya. If you have been following along on the Instagram, you've already seen this first. I did put it out through the other socials, so definitely go check those out for the up-close personals. Once again, phenomenal job. Both these, the color on the sauce looks great. Love the packaging. And let's get into these ingredients. So for the Salsa Verde, we have distilled vinegar, green peppers, tomatillos, jalapenos, onion, cilantro, garlic, kosher salt, and cumin. All right, so he has this one down as a mild heat level. So let's get into it. All right. So as we get going, I would like to see. It does have a nice, wow. The aroma on this is beautiful. All right, right off the bat, you do smell the freshness. You smell the tomatillos. You smell the jalapeno. I'm ready. I'm excited for this. Let's get into it. Nice thick pour. All right. Man, Man, that is good. Phenomenal flavor. You get the tomatillo taste right off the bat, paired very well with the jalapeno, and it's lime. I think is what I'm tasting in that. Just confirm. Hey, I guess not. I guess that's maybe that's the garlic and the vinegar that I'm tasting right there. It's got a beautiful melody altogether. The cumin comes in. It's not anything overpowering. Phenomenal sauce. Great verde right there. Something I can see myself using pretty frequently on some breakfast. So here, let me get the heat. So heat on this, yeah. I mean, I would definitely say mild is pretty fair. It's definitely going to be one if you aren't into extremely spicy stuff. This would be a great sauce for you. It's got the perfect flavor. It's got a nice body. It's got great consistency on that. It's not super runny. You're getting a nice hearty helping, if you will, on your food. So let's do this here. Heat. Okay. Aroma. Phenomenal aroma on this. So let's go here. And flavor. Flavor was, once again, flavor is on point. Very, very, very much what you would expect from a verde sauce. If you like the tomatillo taste, this is definitely up your alley. So let's go ahead and do that here. Okay. Versatility. This is a pretty versatile sauce. There's nothing that's super overpowering on this. So you're going to have plenty of flexibility being able to use this as you see fit with your dishes. I'm personally looking at putting this on my breakfast, but I can definitely see this also pairing very well with a nice sandwich, even on some pizza, chicken, etc. So very versatile sauce all in all. Burn. Not much of a burn, but to be expected. It's just jalapenos for the main heat source, if you will. So for a jalapeno sauce, I think his sweet summer heat packs more of a punch. But all in all, phenomenal sauce. And let's get that burn written down here. All right. Let's get on over to the salsa roja. So let's get that pulled up. Perforated, if you wanted to know. I just still like using a knife. So, all right. So let's see what we got going on here. So this one he has as heat level hot. So let's get into the ingredients. So we got red peppers, apple cider vinegar, tomatoes, onion, dried chilies, lemon juice, cilantro, fresh habanero peppers, garlic, kosher salt, and cumin. All right. You got some nice, seed action going on there. It looks like it actually looks like it might be slightly, they're about the same consistency on thickness. So, once again, nice hearty sauce. Wow. Okay. Once again, you get that beautiful tomato note right off the front, but you also get the peppers bringing in there. It's got a nice overall aroma balance. Oh, hearty pour. Spilt a little, but we're good. Wow. That is phenomenal flavor. You did a great job being able to bring out those the chili de arbol, bringing out that flavor, but the heat of the habanero with this, it all fits. It fits so harmoniously together. I mean, to see myself not using this as, and if you saw the National Hot Sauce Day post that I made on Instagram, What the Fuego saw its last day. It was my tribute to National Hot Sauce Day. So it helped me out with my meal. I fully coated my meal phenomenal. It's going to be really hard to not go get a burrito and use that bottle on that burrito because that stuff is amazing. You did a phenomenal job there. It's kudos. All right, let's enough talking. Now let me get some stuff written down here so we can get on to the next thing. I'm getting distracted here. Burn or heat. I mean, the heat is definitely noticeable on this one. Once again, you're talking hotter peppers compared to the Salsa Verde, so a lot more noticeable there. What would I say on this one? So if you're not into extremely spicy stuff, yeah, this is gonna be on the hotter end of that scale for you. For me, it's a nice medium sauce. I like the flavor. I like the heat that it brings. It doesn't just like hit you and leave. The burn is kind of still there. It does kind of just linger a little bit on the back of the mouth / back of the throat. Overall, great burn on that one. Versatility, extremely versatile sauce. I would definitely keep that as a common factor across the board so far with Faiya sauces. So let's get here the burn. Okay, flavor, great flavor. All right, and aroma. All right, hey, let's try out this here, and I don't know if this is able to be picked up. I'm checking my monitor down here now that we got a nice screen over here. Thanks to my lovely producer Jeff being able to figure this one out. But check out, I don't know if you can check out this cookie from here, but before it was slightly, it looked more traditional to a peanut butter color of a cookie. This one, because of the amount of pow that's in there, you can tell it's kind of got an orange tint. So I'm excited to get into this. He did say this was more of his, what he considers his challenge level cookie.
What's the company called?
This is, once again, this is from CM Magic Factory Pepper Seed Co. So, and this is his ghost pepper peanut butter cookie challenge level. Let's get this one opened up. I'm just going to take a few bites for sake of time. And then I will definitely be devouring this later. Great job on packaging. You can definitely smell the powder in this one. It still has the great peanut butter smell, but as to where before you weren't really able to smell the ghost pepper as much, this is a lot more noticeable. So looking forward to this. Here we go. Pick that up in a second. Man. Much more right off the bat. You taste the ghost pepper. You taste the powder more. You definitely have still that nice undertone. In this case, now it's become a nice undertone of peanut butter cookie. Not so much, that's where with his other, it's very well balanced in the sense of like one doesn't overshadow the other. But if this is his challenge version, it's right on par with where I would start to expect it to be from a standpoint of losing a little bit of the flavor for the sake of the heat. But the more and more that you chew, because of those whole peanuts that he puts in there, you still get that nice peanut butter taste in there. So kudos there. Phenomenal job on that. I'm definitely probably going to be snacking on that little by little as this show goes. It is very good. You can feel the heat. Initially, the heat was, pretty common to see it ramp up slowly, but you can start to feel it build as it goes. So kudos there. Let me get this down here. All right. Let's say that. Oh, yeah. So packaging, because we ditch on something that's not a sauce. We ditch versatility for packaging and presentation. Packaging and presentation, still a phenomenal job. does a great job being able to successfully ship these across states without having the cookies crumble and go all crazy. So kudos there. Let's do this. All right. Flavor is, I mean, I think the flavor is phenomenal. Aroma, so overall smell, you can definitely, like I said, smell a lot more of the powder straight off the bat. So definitely not going to be something that would be for your entry person. Like don't just dive into this cookie. You might as well get the regular ghost pepper cookie and work your way up to this. Heat is nice. So let's get this jotted down. All right. All right, here we go. Let's get this. Let's get on over to the interview, why don't we? Let's bring out Gary. Hey Gary, how's it going?
Hey, Brandon. I'm good.
Man, I'm
It's
I'm
good to
glad to
be
have
here.
you on the show. I've obviously seen the great things that you've done throughout the different communities that are online that you're a part of, and the knowledge that you've been able to share with others. But also heard phenomenal things from everyone that I've talked to that's ever met you. Very well respected, and glad to have you on the show.
Wow. Thanks for all that.
Hey, the the I guess the main thing right here that everyone's obviously wanting to know a little bit more about is Superhot. So obviously that just recently dropped. So with Superhot coming on, what was, first of all, without getting into the fine tooth, look on the different episodes, from an overall perspective, what was your take on one, being a part of the show, but also like just getting to meet all these people? How was that for you?
I, it was an unbelievable experience. That started back before COVID. That the people, the production crew that wanted to do, that they had visualized this thing. They had interviewed Troy and I back before COVID, and they tried to sell it to some other networks, and were unsuccessful. And we thought it was over with. And then after COVID, they started talking to us again, and the whole time I'm just going, no, no, this is never going to happen. They would never make a TV show about us. And and then there it was. It happened. And golly, I just I don't know where to even start, Brandon. The first time they shot me was at that at Death Fest in Dallas, and just I had never been exposed to that competitive pepper eating world. It was just a total uh, revelation, and I didn't for a minute I didn't even know what to think about it. I just
Yeah.
kind of I just kind of fell into it, and God, but those people were they were all the camaraderie of that community is just amazing. There's so much love in that community, and they were just they just welcomed me with open arms. That was a mind blowing experience. And then working with the crew, with Brian Scope and all the other producers and the people on the crew. There again, what a wonderful bunch of people, and what visionaries they. I think Brian knew there was a story there, and he knew how to bring that story. I don't even knew at the beginning what the story was going to be. He just knew how to let the story kind of tell itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
No, I mean, I thought it was phenomenal how, just where they brought you from start to finish, like
right?
everything in
Yeah,
between, how they just overall phenomenal job producing that. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I am curious to know. Obviously, you had just mentioned the Zest Fest, um, the being the first thing that you were a part of.
Yeah. I can't hear you, man.
What's that?
Okay, I hear you now. You dropped out for a second.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying from a standpoint of like what was that preparation looking like for you to get on over there? I mean, obviously, I know that you brought some peppers, but what did that entail? Were you picking that morning and then driving in there, or what did that day look like for
A
you?
couple of years before, and it may have been before COVID. All that's real blurry on me. Troy had been contacted by the people that were doing a League of Fire uh, competition in Sacramento, and they had asked us to supply some peppers for it, and we sent peppers over there then, and that was the first time I ever saw Shahina Wasim, and we watched the whole thing online, and there she was eating my peppers, and that was the biggest thrill, and she went up against the Atomic Menace, I think, that day. But anyway, so fast forward to Zest Fest, and the League of Fire people got in touch with Troy and asked him to supply peppers for that thing too. And so that's when Troy kind of put together the Wrecking Crew. I don't know if we were calling it the Wrecking Crew at the time, but there was a few guys, Brent Rutherford, Bill Corbett, uh, probably me, and some other people. God, I hope I didn't forget anybody that supplied peppers for that thing. And so they Troy had them all send all their peppers to me, and of course I was growing primos and Nova Brains too. And
Very nice.
I forgot until I saw the show that I even brought Nova Brain. I thought Nova Brain was my big secret pepper, but I already brought it to Zest Fest.
Hey,
And
there it was, right on the big stage. So, no,
yeah,
super excited about that one. Hey, it looks like we have a few comments in the chat that are saying having a little bit of difficulty just being able to hear you. Are you able to pull your mic a little bit
yeah,
closer?
yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. All right. Also, by the way, since I can now see a good portion of the chat going on over here, uh, welcome on in. I see that we have some new faces that are jumping in. We completed the hot or not part of the show, if you will. We've now transitioned on over to the interview. We're here talking with Gary, so glad to have everyone here. And if y'all have questions for Gary, fire away in the chat, and we'll take a look at those as well as we go. All right. Well, hey, you know where we left off there with the Nova Brain. Super pumped up about the cross you have going on there. Love a brain strain pepper. So automatically my ears perked up whenever I heard brain strain was in that parent group. So how long have you been working on that? What does that labor of love look like for you?
So years ago, I was in the old thehotpepper.com online deal, and
Yeah.
making a lot of friends in there. And I came in there just to be part of that community, and I was not even eating any capsicum chinense at all. I mean, I was afraid to even eat a habanero at the time, and those guys were sending me seeds. That's a great bunch of guys. This was back in 2010 or 11, something like that. And they started sending me Superhot seeds, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with these? I don't eat this kind of stuff, but I grew them anyway. And I remember eating my first one. It was a 7-pot yellow, yeah, yellow seven that Jamie Hill sent me from Florida. And oh my God, it's so good. It was just a revelation to me. I love those things. And so there was an off pheno seed in there, and it grew the craziest looking peppers I'd ever seen. And so I sent a picture of them to Jamie. I said, Jamie, what in the world is this? It's not a 7-pot yellow. And he thought about it, and we talked about it, and what it tasted like and smelled like and everything. We decided that a Dorset Naga and a 7-pot brain strain had crossed in his garden, and that's what that was. And so I called it Naga Brain.
Nice.
And that was the first generation. And it was red, of course, because there's only one plant. I saved seeds from that generation. In the second generation, we got a yellow one, a brown one, and then all the red ones. So I in that group, we weren't trying to keep any secret crosses or anything. We were just sharing everything we grew.
Yeah.
And lots of guys were growing the chocolates. There's a few different phenotypes of the chocolate. And Brian Seal up in Arkansas had one. He called it the Dragon or something. That thing was so cool looking. Anyway, I was stabilizing three of them, those three, and about the third or fourth generation, the chocolate back crossed with the red. And the way I knew it, the cross was because the plants were close together, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a red. With the Naga Brain, the reds were good, but the flavor was kind of rough or something. And
Mm-hmm.
the yellows weren't as hot, but they had a really nice fruity aroma and flavor. And the chocolates had this real intense fruitiness. To me, it was like grapes. Some of the other guys, described it other ways. But the red tasted like a chocolate. And so I knew that it had to be a back cross. And it had these really cool, boxy looking little pods. So I said, I'm going to name this a new strain and I'm going to stabilize this. And, all these guys were growing Nova Brain at that time. There's guys in Italy and stuff growing subvariants of the Naga Brain. And
Uh-huh.
it wasn't my pepper anymore. It was just
Yeah.
out there. Guys were reviewing it who didn't even know it was my pepper. When there was all those pepper reviewers first started doing that on YouTube.
Yep.
And so I'm like, it's out of my hands. That was a lesson learned. And so this one I thought, well, this is my pepper. I'm gonna hold it close and stabilize it. And so it's I just finished the sixth generation of it, and
Very
that's going to be
nice.
yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So
And so with that one, I'm just selecting for that real intense fruitiness that thing has. It's
okay.
crazy.
Well, hey, I'm super excited to see where you take that thing and where it goes because I know from what I've seen and what I've heard you put out in these groups that you are definitely a master at your craft when it comes to growing, and I can only assume these plants gotta be some monsters because those peppers, those primo plants, those shots that you send, it's something that I only wish I could just like sit there and use that as my happy place, right? Just lay under those branches. But no, I wanted to talk about that a little bit too. I know that your outlook on growing is one that it's not like it's anything super um, complex in the sense of like it's more focused on nature, right, and less on man produced this, that, and the other. So would love to hear your take on that and kind of what your outlook is on growing and how you're able to grow these monsters.
Thanks. Well, first of all, as Troy was the one that got the Primo to be such huge plants. The first seeds he sent me grew 7 foot plants. I mean,
Wow.
it's just and those things are so fun to grow. Even if they weren't such good peppers, I think I would grow them just because they're such wicked cool looking plants. Um, that the whole way I stumbled into that wood chip thing, which is what I do,
Mm-hmm.
was I was growing before I was growing peppers. I was growing tomatoes in a different neighborhood over there where the soil was real sandy, and I was having problems with root knot nematodes.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say nematode, some people say nematode, but it's these tiny little, like eel shaped things that burrow into the roots and make these big hard knots where the plants can't assimilate water.
Mm-hmm.
And the, I was trying to find out how to get rid of them, and there's some kind of awful gas that you had to pump into the ground that only farmers could buy, and it wasn't available to someone like me, and I didn't want to do that anyway. And so I was just looking, just Googling, and I found this study done at Laval University in Quebec where they were taking branch hardwood, like 2-inch diameter branches or smaller, and chipping them up and mixing them with the soil. And all this does is it mimics what happens in hardwood forested river valleys. You have most river valleys, at least here in the South, have great big tall hardwood trees in them. In their net, before settlers came here and cleared
Yeah.
all the river valleys to plant cotton, there were great big tall oak trees. Oak branches fall to the ground, and the river would flood every year and bring in sediment, cover those branches up, and it would just do that, repeat that process over and over and over again. So there's the branch wood, since it has a higher ratio of bark to heartwood than the main trunk, has a lot more of the polyphenols and the lignins that are good for soil building, because that stuff has a whole lot of nitrogen in it. And when it starts breaking down, it forms this mold that does the whole, oh man, I can never remember that word, the mycelial network,
Yep.
and also the worms feed on that mold.
Oh yeah.
So they started doing this with because and they had a whole lot of hardwood tops.
Uh-huh.
Where they're in Quebec as a product of the forestry industry. There was a whole lot. They come in and cut down the trees, and they take the main trunks and they just leave the tops on the ground. And they were thinking, well, we got all these tops, we need to figure out something to do with them. And they did that, and lo and behold, it turns out they're mimicking what happens in nature anyway. And the thing about this nitrogen that's formed by this process that they call ramial chipped wood.
Mm.
Ramial is a French word for branches. Um, as it breaks down, the soil gets progressively more fertile. Instead of having to add fertilizer every year to bring the nitrogen levels back up, as the longer you leave the wood chips in the soil, the richer the soil gets.
Yep. That's it, it's so fascinating how that whole process works. I know from what you've shared in groups and the groups that you've kind of directed whenever I was asking questions to me to, um, it was a wealth of knowledge, but at the same time, it was one of those aha moments. It was something that I had been racking around in my own brain for quite some time. It was the whole concept of before even man was here and or man in the existence of like there being a mass populace of us, everything ran on its own. Like it didn't need us interacting with it. Things grew and everything was fine. So it became one of those things like, why was it perfectly fine then? But now we have to, go to a lab and craft all these different things, chemical, synthetic, this and that. Like it just didn't make sense to me. So when you started sharing that information, it was just like it was the light bulb moment of like, this is exactly what I've been looking for, exactly what I need to understand. Because I mean, once again, it was perfectly fine before us. Why do we need to just continuously dump chemicals in there? So yeah, it
Yeah.
It, it,
Sorry,
it,
go ahead.
it I was just gonna say it's a beautiful process, and what you had shared and explained and everything, um, it makes sense.
I like to tell people, it's when people first came to the Gulf South here, we had these really wide river valleys, the Mississippi Valley, the Red River Valley, and all those valleys between here and the Atlantic Ocean were incredibly fertile. And so the first thing we did, so when they invented the cotton gin in the 1820s, first thing we did was cut down all the oak trees in these river valleys. At this time, in those years before the Civil War, the Gulf South was producing between 25% and 55% of the world's cotton from
Wow,
these river valleys using no fertilizer at all.
wow,
Of course, they eventually exhausted the soil and they started having to import uh, manure from South America, and then they figured out how to make ammonia ammonia fertilizer, and here we are today. But nobody and they don't teach this in the agricultural schools. You know, they teach fertilizer, and that's what all the farmers do. You know, this is a I think I've seen a little in France where they're actually doing this,
Well,
putting
yeah,
the wood chips.
yeah, and you know what? It makes sense too that they're not going to be pushing it in the schools and stuff like that because it's the same thing that goes on from a a hospital standpoint. At the end of the day, they're there to they're there in partnership with the pharmaceutical companies, and same goes for these mass chemical companies that are producing fertilizers and et cetera. So they're the ones also helping fund the schools. So it makes sense, but it's a shame, and more people need to take a look at what they're doing and ways that they can just better the earth around them in that sense, and it'll pay out dividends as it goes. So no, I mean I know that's something that's near and dear to you, and it's definitely near and dear to me to be able to better the earth. So definitely wanted to touch on that. But it looks like we have some questions from the chat here. So we're going to take a few of those real quick, and then we'll jump on back over to what we have going on. All right. So Late for Work says, favorite part / most memorable part of Zest Fest, and favorite / most memorable part of Charlotte.
Yeah, Zest Fest is easy. That was watching Chris Fujali eat all those primo peppers. I don't know. I haven't watched the whole TV show yet. I'm only up to the end of episode 4, but I don't know if that made it into the show. But it's he beat Johnny Scoville's record by like what 30 or 40 peppers,
Yep.
and they were my. I was standing there watching the whole thing. And I'm like, wow, it was just incredible. He just I still can't believe it. Um, yeah, and Charlotte, golly. So yeah, when Johnny got up there on stage and said any one of these peppers here tonight could be hotter than the Reaper, I said, wow, we're really doing this.
Yep. Oh, that whole
So
episode was great.
and for both of those shoots, just the people, the people on the crew and the people in the cast, just wow, what a fellowship there.
Very,
It,
very well said. I definitely thought that the overall feel of it was very on point for that. I mean, you could see even with the photos and everything that people have been sharing after the show came out, you can see how well the cast as well as the people shooting as well were just it wasn't like this whole hey I'm over here you're over there. No, it looked very friendly. So super super
yeah, I
cool to
mean,
see that.
when one of them would tap out, all the others would stay and root them on. You know,
Yep.
it it was that kind of competition, which is just so wonderful to see.
Yeah. Looks like we've got another one here from Chili Dean. It says, "Does Gary sell boxes of his peppers? If so, how can we buy them?"
So I don't normally do that. All the primo peppers I grow go to Troy, and my Nova Brain has still not been released to the public yet. So I'm sorry. I wish I could. I really wish I could. Right now that's where I'm at with it, though. And
All
thanks
right.
for asking.
Hey, it looks like there's a little bit of interest going on. So whenever that day does come, that'll be a nice day for you. So looks like we got one here from Jacob Deathridge. He's asking what your favorite dish in the Louisiana shoot was.
Hey, Jacob, man, it's so good to hear from you. This is one of the best pepper growers I ever met, man, and a really, really nice guy. And just, God, he grows some amazing stuff. Uh, Jacob, I got to say, man, I think mine was the best. I'm sorry. the
There we go.
the alligator sauce piquant. Oh my God.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. I uh I I wanted to I guess we'll slightly dovetail off of that question because that brings me back to something I wanted to ask about your time while y'all were there in Louisiana for that part of the shoot. Um, Man, how amazing was that to be around, just everyone else there at that point? Um, I mean, from the standpoint of people you hadn't met before, how did you feel the reception of not only you interacting with them, but just the whole thing? How did you feel that went?
It was unbelievable. I I don't know if because you hear about all this drama in
Hmm.
the chili community. I didn't see it. And I don't know if it was just Brian's project just attracted really, really kind-hearted people, or whether he just found those kind of kind-hearted people to bring into it. Because that was my experience of it. I had no idea that being in a TV show could be so much fun. I thought there'd be a bunch of egos involved, a bunch
Yep.
of back, like on those Big Brother and Survivor and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that was also a very different time frame. Now you got a lot more people online on a regular basis, as to where I would say the Big Brother and Survivor, at least the jump off for those, there was less people from a content creating standpoint online. So I felt like those egos were more prevalent and more loud then. So, but yeah, I could definitely see where that would be a thing of concern and question. So
Well, I mean, and when they first contacted us, they did some interviews with us and stuff, and that's all we knew that reality shows were. We thought they were going to pit us against one another, and we just told them, look, if that's what it's going to be, we're not interested. That's
yeah,
what Troy told them. I told them, and I think they heard us.
very nice. The Man, there's so much more that I want to dive in on this, and I think that I think ultimately we can kind of touch on some of these in burning choices, but I definitely want to make sure we have enough time for burning choices as well. So let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll kick it on over to that. We'll go on over to burning choices from here. All right. Hey, welcome on into Burning Choices. Looks like we have quite a few new people jumping on into the chat. Glad you're here. We did the Hot or Not earlier. We just wrapped up the interview with Gary. Now we're doing Burning Choices with Gary. This is a this or that type of show. So I will give you two options. I'll start off real easy, just to kind of get you understanding of what's going on, and then we'll go from there. So first up, it will be Gary. All these questions are for you, so it's just your preference. On however you want to view it. Some of them will have more context than others. But first up, coffee or tea?
T.
All right, tea. What type of tea? Are you a black tea or a green tea or?
I used to be a hardcore espresso guy, and
Okay,
I had to stop a while because it was messing with me bad. And so I just drank ginger tea for a long time, and then about a year ago, I started back drinking black tea.
nice. Ginger hibiscus is a beautiful tea.
Yeah,
Beautiful tea.
yeah. I still drink ginger tea at night.
Nice. All right. Next up, sweet or savory, and you can kind of use this context however you want, whether it be dishes, drinks, whatever.
Ooh, probably savory, but I got a sweet tooth. I
Okay.
won't
Okay.
lie.
All right. Uh, and this next one's gonna be here. I'm gonna pick up my questions. All right. The next one is compost tea or soil building.
Yeah, you know that answer to that one, right?
Yeah, I do.
I'm all about.
Yep, soil building. Man, I'm right there with you. I did initially get caught with the which I still use compost teas every once in a while, but I don't use it near as much as I used to after reading up on what you had shared. So I definitely see their benefits, but soil building is far superior in that path. So, all right. So we'll go with this next one here. We got roasted chilies or fresh pods.
Oh, oh, that's tough. I'm a big chili roaster, man. I got a drum roaster a few years back, and that thing gets a lot of use. But I love me, if you're talking about capsicum chinense, I love me some freshies.
There we go. All right.
What
So is
about
that what you're going to
that's
go with?
like
Is fresh
asking,
pods?
man, that's like asking a New Mexico person red or green. I mean,
Oh, well, that might be the
potato?
next question too. All right. Well, we'll leave that one as undecided.
Yeah,
All right. All right. So next up, you've already hit on it. Red or green hatch chilies?
yeah. Well, right now it's green.
Okay. All right.
I mean, wait, it's red for breakfast and green for dinner.
Okay. All right. All right. I like that. I like that. I do like I like to go Christmas, so I like a nice blend on that. Um, I don't know if I could pick just one. I think I might lean more towards just the green if I had to pick only one. But yeah, it's got to be Christmas for me all day. All right.
John Hart John Hart says if you New Mexico, you come for the green and you stay for the red.
That's a pretty fair point. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the green is just so, that's the first thing you think of when you say roasted hatch chilies. So,
Right.
um, all right, this next one here we have crystals or Tabasco. I know they're
I guess
both
Chris.
okay.
Yeah, I like the cayenne based sauces,
Okay, okay, yeah.
but
See,
I got it. Troy is if you I can ever get him to do the Bayou Delic again, that would be my answer.
okay, okay.
Hope you're listening, Troy. We're waiting.
There you go, Troy. We're looking for it.
That's
All
a
right. Let's see. Let's see here. We got connecting with nature or getting together with friends. Both
I'm
two.
I'm I'm less and less of an introvert all the time. I was born an introvert, but I'm really getting where I like to be with people a lot more. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
this
Very nice. I definitely can. So I've always been an extreme extrovert, and it got me in so much trouble growing up. I was always I was always that kid that would just never stop acting up. And that I had to quickly learn to become a little bit more introverted, and so hey, my wife is the one that balances me out on that front. She keeps me pretty level headed. She's a lot more introverted than I'll ever be. But all right, let's see here: super hots or heritage peppers. So, you know, peppers that have been around quite a while.
man, I love the annuums. I really do. I probably eat more annuums than anything else, but sometimes you got to have a super hot.
Yeah, I definitely get you there. It it's. I mean, there's so many too, from like the heritage, the more I can't think of the proper name for them right now, but the peppers that have been more established for a very long period of time. We'll put it that way. Um,
Land right.
land race. There we go. Those peppers are they're so good. They have different flavors that you're not going to find anywhere in the realm of super hots, if you will. But
Those
yeah.
Oaxacan annuums like the chilhuacles,
Hmm.
there's a red one and a yellow one and a brown one. That the flavor's so incredibly complex in those things.
Man, I'll
They're
have to
really
check
fun.
those out.
Yeah.
Those
Uh,
sound
the the Chilhuacle Rojo is kind of unique in that it has two phenotypes, and they select both phenotypes when they're saving seeds every year.
wow.
And
Okay.
if people that love that pepper say if you're not growing both phenotypes in the same grow, that you're not really growing it,
Wow.
which I think
Okay.
is cool. Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check that one out. It sounds amazing. I'm down for that. All right, this last one also might be a little bit hard. Maybe not. So We got the Man versus Food shoot or the Zest Fest Superhot episode shoot.
Uh, oh, don't make me pick.
I know this is
That's
this is a
so
hard one. This is
fun.
like picking a child for you, I bet.
No, no, I can't do that. Casey's such a great guy. I mean, I talk to him all the time to this day. He's just such a great guy. I'm not gonna pick Brandon. Sorry, I
Okay,
can't do it.
okay, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Do you know if that ramen shop? I can't remember the name of the ramen shop. I know
Yeah,
I
it's.
follow them, but do they still run that challenge?
I don't know if they still run the challenge. I think it's still open. Azumi Ramen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time I'm driving through, I definitely want to stop there and
Hey,
have some good ramen.
I think he likes you to give him advance notice if you want to do the Dragon Bowl.
Okay. All right. Well, I will. Actually, I'll take note of that right now
Yeah.
because. All right. All right. Well, hey, that was a pretty painless burning choices, but that was burning choices. So that hey, let's first of all thank you for coming on. Loved having you on here. It's been a great conversation. Would love to have you back because there's a lot that obviously we didn't get the chance to go over and dive deeper into and you know, so
I'd
much more
love
to
to
talk
come back.
about.
Yeah.
But hey, first of all, I don't want to forget this. Hot seat nomination. This is somebody that you would think would be a great fit for the show. Who are you putting on the hot seat?
My buddy Bobby McFadden. I think
Oh,
he'd be great on it.
okay. All right, Bobby. Hey, I'm reaching out to you. Likely it'll be tomorrow. So be looking out for me to reach on out to you, and we'll set up a time to get you on the swear word. Um, there's really only one thing left now. It's hey, let everyone know where they can find you and anything you want to plug away.
Well, I don't have a big social media presence. I'm on Facebook under my name, Gary Montcalm, and on Instagram, I'm Wind Chicken.
There we
That's
go.
word.
All right. Well, hey, everyone, you can go ahead and give him a follow on both Facebook and Instagram. I know that he's a wealth of knowledge on the Facebook side because definitely have learned quite a bit from him in these groups. So thank you once again, Gary, for coming on. Definitely look forward to having you back on. And let's go ahead and wrap up this show. All right. Hey. Thank you, everyone that was here tonight in the chat, active, getting it going. Now that I got this lovely monitor here, I can actually see these questions and see what's going on. So thank you, Jeff, for helping get that situated here. First of all, we had product reviews from Hot or Not. We had Faiya sauces on here. We had the Salsa Verde and the Salsa Roja. And then we also had the challenge cookie here from our good friends on over at CM Magic Factory. Go ahead and check him out for your peanut butter ghost pepper cookies. The ones I reviewed today was his challenge level. I'm not certain if that is out for everybody right now, but if it is, and you're into super hot cookie, check that on out. Definitely recommend it. Hey, once again, podvision.io, couldn't do this out without them. If you're looking to grow your brand, start a brand, just revive it in general, highly recommend reaching on out to podvision.io. Help you get going, take the pain out of everything that goes on with that. We also have the merch that will be coming out soon. Had a slight change on a few things, so it looks like it might be pushed out a few more days, but definitely check that out. Also, once again, before anything else, if you liked what we're doing here, please follow, like, subscribe. We're trying to build up, once again, the YouTube and Instagram. Follow us on there. Share that around. Let's get in front of the right Chilihead community. And couldn't do this without all of y'all. Once again, I'm Brandon Swear, and this has been The Swear Word. Let's get it.